Today, I'm going to tell you about the movies that were released in 1999. There were many popular movies that were originally released in 1999, but these three movies stood out to me the most because they're still very popular and known still in this time, and they each were not expected to do as well in the movie theaters as they did. They were all three in the top movies at the box office. The first movie I'm going to talk about is 10 Things I Hate About You. That movie is a retold story by William Shakespeare. That the retold story was called The Taming of the Shrew. And both of these stories relate to each other because they're about a teenage girl who is expected to never fall in love or be married. Her younger sister is a girl who is all about the boys and the boys are all about her, but her father forbids her from dating unless the older sister can find true love. A boy that is deeply in love with her sets out to find a boy that is willing to be with the older sister. They end up getting together, and the older sister finds out that he's just doing this for money. She becomes really upset, but then she realizes that she's fell in love with him. And Julie Stiles plays the older sister in that movie. I feel like she personally played a very strong role in that movie and really showed the true meanings of what it was like to be in love in the 1990s. She portrayed herself really well. And that is also why I feel like that movie did so well in the box office. Also, the second movie that I had chosen was Toy Story 2. That movie was expected to just be a sequel to Toy Story 1 and not in the theaters. It was expected to just be out on DVD for a movie film that was going to be less than 1 hour. After working tirelessly through the nights and figuring out that this movie was going to be way more than what they expected, the producers and directors ended up making Toy Story 2 a movie that went to theaters. They went way over budget trying to construct this movie and put it together, and they were compressed for time whenever they learned that they had already set the date to be released in 9 months and they couldn't go back and change it. They made a Pixar film in theaters in 9 months, which they normally have to do in 5 years. So that was like a dramatic thing for them. The next movie that I had chosen was The Green Mile. That movie was originally a Stephen King novel it's about a man who is sentenced to the death penalty and he has to walk the Green Mile. This movie was crazy, but it was actually shot at the Tennessee State Penitentiary. I never even knew that. It tells a true story about a man that was sentenced to the death row. The whole reason for the title is because when you're walking the path to the death row at the Tennessee State Prison, the whole, I guess it's a mile, it's just green tile. And that's where they originally got the title from. And that's why I think all these movies are just popular because they're still showing on TV. You can still find 10 Things I Hate About You on TV if you ever want to. And it's also just recently released on Netflix, which is where I picked up on it and found it and fell in love with the movie. Toy Story 2 has always shown on Disney Channel, and you can also find it on ABC Family from time and time again. And The Green Mile sometimes will show all day long on TNT. And all these movies have their unique ways because they show different leading roles. In Toy Story, you have Woody who is trying to get back home to Andy, and he meets friends along the way. In 10 Things I Hate About You, you have Julie who is trying to figure out about herself and find out what love's about. And then in The Green Mile, you have a man who's just scared to death and he just wants someone to listen to him. Each of these stories, or each of these movies, are great movies, and if you haven't seen them, it's definitely something you should consider. Thank you.